Hello, welcome back to Statman Dave Clips. Today we're going to be taking a look at England's generational talents in Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham, what they've been doing for their clubs and how they can fit in Gareth Southgate's midfield. Of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like that goddamn video. Let's get this party started. So let's move on to talking about two of the best young players in the world of football that are English, Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden. Phil Foden arguably won the tie against Borussia Dortmund. I thought he was sensational over both legs. You know, in the first leg of the tie, Phil Foden arguably could have scored a hat-trick, grabbed a really important goal that won the tie for them. But in terms of the chances that he created, in terms of the dribbles that he completed in certain areas, and also the tackles, 3 tackles, 3 interceptions. Very impressive numbers from the young man. He took that forward into the second game and again was a threat for Manchester City, playing from that left-hand side. Again, we always talk about Pep Guardiola, left footers, left-hand side. Opened up that sort of near post finish, open gate. Pep Guardiola loves that at the moment. You can see Phil Foden's heat map, very dominant on that left-hand side. Over the 2 legs, he's had 154 touches of the ball, played 107 passes, completing 91% of them, took 4 shots, created 2 chances, completed 5 dribbles, won 6 tackles, made 4 interceptions, and scored both match-winning goals for Manchester City. Foden has obviously been talked about pre-Guardiola, but I think we've seen the versatility under Guardiola. Played centre mid, played on the wing, played 10, played as a striker. And this season, as having his best season to date, 6 goals and 5 assists in 24 Premier League games, being directly involved in a goal every 123 minutes. Phil Foden is an absolute star in the making, and I think England are lucky to have him, but also Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham was absolutely brilliant again. Jude Bellingham's performances in the Champions League really started in the away game against Sevilla. What really impressed me in this game was his pressing and his work rate and his understanding of the tactics that Borussia Dortmund were playing. I think that's really interesting, and the maturity of a young lad to have that in his game is absolutely incredible. To understand that at 17 years old, playing in a different league with a different language and then doing it in the Champions League was brilliant. Bellingham was really good in the away leg, worked right off the ball, but was fantastic against Manchester City. Should have come away with a goal in the first leg, of course, incorrectly ruled out by the referee. But I think he saved it for that second leg, and his first Champions League goal, the youngest ever Champions League goal scorer, Jude Bellingham from central midfield. England need to start to consider this guy. Really announced himself to the world. 17 years old, of course, a graduate from the Birmingham City Academy. We described him when we previously looked at him as a very complete player for such a young age. You can be deployed in a box-to-box role, a Mazzala role, a playmaking role in central midfield, can play wide left, wide right, number 10. Striker, he's absolutely really, really impressive. Scored in both his last 2 appearances for Dortmund and should have had 3 after his goal, of course, was disallowed in that first leg. But the thing when we were looking at him back in the day was his ability to win challenges. The season before, he was averaging around 19 challenges per game in the Championship from a central midfield or right midfield role, which was more than Wilfred Ndidi and N'Golo, or more than Wilfred Ndidi was managing the Prem, and the same amount as N'Golo Kante. And that shows it. This guy's an attacking player, which is absolutely incredible. This season, he's averaging 18 challenges per 90 in the Bundesliga. Kante's averaging 14. Calvin Phillips is averaging 15. Højbjerg 17 and Højbjerg 16 and Ndidi 17, which is pretty incredible. He made 34 challenges over the 2 legs versus Manchester City, which is absolutely bonkers numbers for such a young, talented player. So let's move on to England. I think that is a good topic because the Euros is coming. England, right now, here is my England team on form, on paper. Talking, Henderson in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Harry Maguire, John Stones, Luke Shaw. Declan Rice at the base of midfield, Jude Bellingham, Mason Mount, Rashford and Phil Foden. Harry Kane through the middle. I think right now that is the best England team. I think the thing what you get with Jude Bellingham is that tactical awareness and the ability to play a real box-to-box role for England. You know, working back, helping Declan Rice in that defensive midfield area with Mason Mount, but also pressing high and getting on the end of moves. And, you know, we've seen his quick feet for the first goal against City in the first leg, how he shifted it, beat the press, played it to Haaland. Haaland slipped in Royce. They scored. Really good stuff. But I also think the link-up with players ahead of him, you know, I think the fluidity with this England team, you know, Foden could start left, Marcus Rashford could start right. Alternatively, if you want to go for the City pairing of Sterling and Phil Foden, you've got kind of that thing where you've got what Guardiola's got, where you could play either both inverted, Foden on the right-hand side, Sterling on the left-hand side, or alternatively play natural side, as we see with Pep and what he does. And I really think Phil Foden has got to be in this England team right now. Man of the match in both legs for me in the semi-final of the Champions League. That is big. And, you know, we talk about his wing play, but also his ability to press and to harry is absolutely fantastic. So at certain moments here in City's press, he's the guy that kind of not instigates, but is very much the second presser. So that the centre forward will go, let's say Harry Kane, then Phil Foden can join in. I think the big thing for Gareth Southgate is he's not going to have the time to develop a press, you know, with the England team. But if you've got the likes of Bellingham that presses for Germany, Foden that presses for Man City, Sterling that presses for City as well. We've got Harry Kane in there that knows how to press with his work with Maurizio Pochettino. Mason Mount's not a slouch in that environment. I think this England team could be absolutely disgraceful, especially when you consider Marcus Rashford and you want to play both of them on the inside lane. Could work really well. Kind of playing two inverted wingers in Phil Foden and Rashford, having two 3/8s in Mason Mount and Jude Bellingham, Shaw and Trent Alexander-Arnold operating inside. Total control of the ball. And I think there's players in there. There's the likes of Saka that could come in. I think you've got other options on the bench for England. And I really, really do think this is where you go. But also the likes of, Jadon Sancho could come in. You've got James Maddison could come in. Grealish could come in. I think this level of talent for England, there needs to be a big dub at the Euros. Or it's got to be the end for Gareth Southgate. And I do believe it's got to be building around Jude Bellingham. If you are going to maybe play Bellingham, Grealish, Foden, Rashford, Kane, that works really well. Guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this team, this lineup. But I think Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden have shown why they're regarded as such big talents in European football. Not only doing it domestically, but also doing it in the premier competition of Europe. Jude Bellingham at the ripe age of 17, grabbing his first Champions League goal, and Phil Foden, a fire performance over the two legs for Manchester City. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Jude Bellingham and, of course, Phil Foden. What super talents they are. If you want to check out more stuff like this, come over to Twitch on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. The link in the description below. But also, subscribe to this channel and smack that like button and get in below. Which of those players is a bigger talent, Jude Bellingham or Phil Foden?